guys can see from the sign behind me, you're still tuned in to Homegrown. Earlier on the show, we promised you a sit-down interview with the rising star in the jazz sphere, surprisingly, at a young age. She goes by, let me take a breath for this one, as I am from Kailicha. I'm not familiar with other languages, but it's Xhosa and it's Sosital. She actually goes by Rorisang Sechele. 25-year-old. She has debuted an album titled The Seed. It was also featured in Jazz NXT Spotify, which is major for those of you guys who don't know, but she will explain further. But for now, help me welcome Rorisang in studio. Pardon me for butchering your name. I tried my utmost best. Yeah. Let us use the mic so that they can understand you at home.
All right.
Okay, let's talk about why jazz, because growing up, it used to be considered an old people's music.
Yeah.
How did it find you at 25 and earlier on?
Jazz has surprisingly always been there. So I grew up listening or having jazz music in the background because of my dad. My dad loves jazz. He would always listen to your Kirk Whalum, your Jonathan Butlers, you know. But in high school, I was classically trained. So when I got to TUT, the Tshwane University of Technology, I kind of had the opportunity to venture into studying jazz. And because, well, at that time, I wasn't aware that it was called jazz. I was like, let me just give this a shot and see where it takes me. Only to find that as I'm learning and I'm hearing the music, it's actually music that I'm familiar with. I just didn't know it was called jazz. So, yeah, it's always kind of been there in the background, but I only became aware of it in varsity.
Let's talk about studying jazz.
Yes.
What are some of the key things that you feel you have learned having studied it, you would have missed had you not gone to school for it?
Key things. I think improvisation is definitely the first thing because that's what kind of separates jazz from other genres. Like scatting, I would have never learned how to scat if I hadn't studied jazz. Another thing is also playing with people, you know, like in a band setting. Band leading. No! What
that
are
almost
you
gave me a
thinking?
heart attack. I'm like,
What?
another one.
Oh no, please. But yeah, just like being in an ensemble, communicating on stage, you know, impromptu, like if we just jam a song, how to go about communicating with the people that you work with. So those are kind of like key things. And also understanding complex chord progressions, how to navigate it, which kind of goes back to like improvisation and scatting and all of that. But yeah.
Yeah, your wealth of knowledge makes me want to stream the album, which I will
Listen.
after the show. I need you guys to do the same, but wait for 5 p.m. before you do that. Before we get into the album,
Yes.
what did it mean for you to be featured on the Jazz NXT playlist on Spotify?
It came as a shock. I think I'm still processing it now because even with the 2 singles that we released before the album or the EP itself, we were always just like, Spotify, what's happening? Why are you not featuring us? We're the playlist.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like a stamp. It's kind of sealing the deal. It's affirming the fact that you literally did the most with that EP, girl. And it deserves to be there.
Okay, it's an EP and not an album.
So yes, it's an EP. It forms part of an entire project called In Full Bloom. So you guys are experiencing the first phase of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before we get into that, the title, love it.
Thank you.
How did you come to the seed?
Going back to what I previously mentioned, the entire project is called In Full Bloom, and it's basically celebration of coming of age. We are celebrating self-discovery. We are celebrating learning and unlearning, going back to self. And basically, I use the analogy of a flower to emphasize the importance of celebrating each and every phase of your life, whether it's good or bad. So the seed is basically the first phase. What I'm basically tackling is if we are all different flowers in the same garden, who determines who's blooming faster than the other? I'm also challenging the term late bloomer because if I'm an orchid and you are a rose and we're in the same garden, who's to determine that you are blooming faster than I am.
Yes.
So the seed is the first part. It's kind of speaking to the early stages of becoming, the uncertain, uncomfortable part of becoming. That is equally as essential as the bloom. So yeah, you won't fully appreciate your blooming or your amazing season without understanding the dark or uncomfortable phase of your life. So that's the
It's so
seed.
deep, yeah?
It
Makes
is.
sense. I don't think I've encountered a jazz musician that isn't. Do you think that being a late bloomer or the term late bloomer has a negative connotation to it?
Definitely. I think it just puts unnecessary pressure on people to pursue societal standards that may not be fit for them. Yeah, I don't see why they should exist. And I feel like it breeds unnecessary things like negativity, jealousy. I mean, you will look at me as Rorisang and be like, at 25, she's already having this and this and this.
Yeah.
Ach man, why is it not happening to me? So I just feel like it shouldn't even exist. Like we should
sense.
just embrace and
Yeah.
appreciate and celebrate each other. Even if I'm not blooming and you're in your blooming phase, I
Yeah.
should be like, "Oh, I love that for you, but I also can't wait for mine. Not, I love that for you.
Why
I don't
not
love that
me?
for you, or you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah.
Wow. Hey, you are very important. We need you in the industry.
Yes.
Your messaging is very
Thank
crucial.
you.
I feel like a lot of people need to listen to you speak.
Thank
And
you.
for now, they can listen to the album.
Yes.
Who have you worked with on the album? How many songs are there? Where can people catch it?
Okay, so technically there are 6 songs on the EP, and there's a 7th song that is kind of like spoken word.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's the first song that introduces the entire project itself. I worked with my friends from PTA. I've got Diteboho and Tato Mudika, who are my co-producers and producer, co-composers and arrangers. I worked with a lady, an amazing golden human called Maz Lamini, who's the poet. I also featured Diteboho on one of the songs called Khale. And yeah, I've got Ofente Moses Subula, who assisted with, horn arrangements. Lebohang Komani, who's also the trumpeter. So yeah, I've got a plethora of amazing musicians on the
We
project.
appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Before I let
Thank
you go, we
you.
need people to find you on the socials.
Yes. Ke Rorisang Sechele on all platforms. So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I think it's Rorisang Sechele Official. Facebook, LinkedIn. We are trying X, but it's very challenging. But
Can
yeah, it's
imagine.
Rorisang Sechele everywhere.
Yeah.
Even on YouTube, you can find me. Threads is obviously connected to, Instagram. So
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate
You
you
are
being here. We
welcome.
hope to see you again very soon.